Would you have preferred death, or are you happy with your survival? You went through a very severe motorbike accident and you were in a coma for 5 to 6 weeks. And can you tell us what you recall from that time?
I thought I was in a dream first. I was thinking, okay, I might be at my friend's place. Then I started to realize that, wait, I can't move. I was a vegetable.
21 surgeries and years in a wheelchair. I can only ask you this question. I can't ask any other guest. I know it's a disturbing question, but would you have preferred death, or are you happy with your survival?
I'm alive and I'm sharing my story.
Web3.tv.
Hello, what's up, and welcome back to the Traders Brawl Podcast, where we feature entrepreneurs, money gurus, business leaders, and influencers, people with impact and influence on the show. I'm Adel, your host, and today, if you're new here, welcome, and if you're existing, welcome to this existing channel. We are here to bring education, and every week we sit down with a new person on the chair to learn more about what they can bring to the world. Today's guest is a walking definition of resilience and reinvention. Jeremy is a French-born artist and road accident survivor. After recovering from a brutal motorbike crash, a 6-week coma, and 21 surgeries, Jeremy was reborn. Despite physical setbacks, he moved alone to Japan, mastered the language, and graduated as a character designer at Tokyo designer Gakukin. From street art to sound production to anime character design, Jeremy's story is about grit, creativity, and never letting circumstances define you. Welcome to the Traders Brawl Podcast, Jeremy.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Adele.
It's great to have you here. Honestly, I just want to take us back to the first time we met, which was in this office. I was just passing by, and I didn't even know you were the son of the creative director who works here. And then I just got into a conversation with you about, hi, what's up? What are you doing? And you told me about yourself, and I was so moved. I couldn't leave the room after I realized, oh, so they're filming something about you. In this whole time, I was just so focused on my own thing. I didn't even know what was your purpose here. But Jeremy, I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself to our audience. In a few words, just say a few things about yourself.
Yes, well, my name is Jeremy. I'm from France, and as Adele was saying, I mean, I was just passing by, and resting there in the studio. He passed and he say, "Hey, like, are you okay?" and everything. We started talking together, and you were so impressed of. I mean, after all these years, like so many times, I've been saying my own story over and over, and yes, in the end, I mean, obviously, as a human being, you want to say it out loud. You want to go like up on the roof and like yell to everyone, "Hey, like there is this, that." But well, the more you go, the more you actually learn to be humble. I mean, I stopped really talking about it, but yes, like, I mean, the moment people actually ask about it, I'm just so very glad to say it. But even it's a way for me to actually, it's a therapy for me also, to always like go about it, go like even in my head, I'm just going back, and it's a thing, but I'm very glad to actually go on with this.
It's amazing. So for the audience who may not know what you went through a very severe motorbike accident where you crashed and you became unconscious and you were in a coma for 5 to 6 weeks. Could you tell us about that? Can you tell us what you recall from that time, from when the accident happened? Do you recall?
I don't. To be very honest with you and with everyone, I only remember almost couple of years after because the thing, and that's some luck in a way, because I don't really remember what happened on the moment. Like, my brain was basically reset. And I do remember things, but it seems more like a dream
Yeah.
than. But some people around say, hey, like I mean, for after the accident, I'm really thinking about like in the all the recovery time. Before I went to Japan, I was here, but I wasn't here in the meantime. But yes, I do remember things, and people tell me, hey, you did this, that, and
Do you remember the time before the accident happened, the motorbike crash? Do you recall what you saw before it happened?
I do remember indeed, yes. I do have something. However, I'm saving that for the documentary.
Which you're
So
filming right now, which is
this
amazing.
is what is being in production right now. This is what we're filming right now. So this will be explained, everything, all the details will be really revealed there. So yes.
Fantastic. I can't wait to watch it. Let's move on to post accident. What was the first thing in your mind? And do you remember waking up in the waking up in the hospital bed? What was that experience like?
Mm. Well, it's a horrible experience, I can say, but the first thing I do remember is that I was not even aware. I didn't know what was going on, but all I actually knew, I thought I was in a dream first. I was thinking, okay, I might be at my friend's place here, maybe I had a sleepover. All I knew is that was not my room, that was not the roof, that was not what I was used to see always. And then I started to realize that, wait, I can't move. And that's a horrible sensation. I was just like in the bed, and I was a vegetable, and I couldn't move. Yeah, no, and I mean I couldn't move, and even though I wanted, I couldn't. So, and at that moment, I started to think, wait, I couldn't remember anything, but then I had this horrible feeling of like, wow, so that was life, and thinking about my own life, but in the past is such an horrible sensation. But nowadays when I'm thinking, it's not a vision you see, it's more of a feeling. It's like you have that feeling, and when I think about that feeling, that's the strongest thing I can ever like think about, because I know that there was that one moment in my life where I was actually thinking that that was over, and I was thinking about everything in the past, like, no, but it's gone. And when I think about that, I'm like, wow, I was actually in the deepest points I can actually go. And when I think about that, that's the strongest thing I can have, to think, okay, no, but nothing can stop me. Anyways, now I can go because I can't make worse than that.
Right.
So
You hit rock bottom. You can't go even lower.
literally,
You know the lot.
that's why. That's why. So
Wow.
there's no, yeah, I mean, the sky is the limit.
Oh yeah. Wow.
That's the,
And right off the back of this, I mean, of course, it took some time for you to think about, okay, I just went through an accident. What do I want to do with my life now? What was that experience like when you were at least somewhat recovered? Your arms are working, your feet are working, everything is working again. Was there a point in life where you said, okay, I want to do something?
well, obviously there were. Like, I first spent a couple of years, I mean, in hospital beds, basically, between this and surgeries, where I was not really moving. I was not, all I wanted was, first of all, obviously, to being able to move.
Right.
So I started sitting in my bed. I could not even eat at that time. I had this tracheostomy here.
Wow.
So obviously, I wanted to think, let's do something. Let's try and to see, to walk, do something. Now, to answer your question for what I want to do with my life now, well, I lost hearing on the left side. 1 month, 3 weeks, 1 month before my accident, I graduated as an audio engineer, and I was a music artist. So to me, my life was in music. I was in Dubai making music. Everything was very perfect, and I was active. And so that was that. The thing is that losing hearing on one side makes me unable to actually professionally keep on going with music. I can still hear from one side. However, I hear mono since 11 years now. So I was thinking, okay, like maybe I can retry, but to be very honest, at that moment, I was really thinking about the basics of living. First, I need to be able to wake up, maybe even to move out of this room, move and start thinking, but like one thing after another, like gradually re going up.
Wow, I can't believe some people will never even go through this experience the whole entire lives, and you're able to share your experience and help others with what they're going through. I think you're a great inspiration because you've survived this and you're still going forward. And on top of that, I think there's some exciting stuff about both your documentary coming out and also you being a creative director. You're also do you still consider yourself a an artist musician?
I do. I'm not producing music like I used to. However, I still have one ear out of two, meaning I'm still I still have my artistic soul. This is still here, and whether it's drawing, whether it's arts, whether it's music,
Mm.
I mean, I can still create. I still have ideas, and even though I can't hear in stereo, I can still write music. I can still use the AWs and make some music to actually create things. And I think it's very important. My very first aim, even before any accident or whatever, was really ever since I'm a kid, I've always been drawing and making music. I remember my mom saying always, Jeremy is always like humming some song and like drawing, doodling things and all. But I don't know, I was this like, yeah, this artistic kid. And however, that's why when I started making music when I was in Dubai, because my friends, because the context pushed me into music at that moment, because I met the right persons and at the right place, the right moment. So I was more into music and I kept drawing on the side, but music was really my main thing for all this time until the accident. Then after a few years actually trying to understand what I would be doing with myself, with this life and everything, I started saying from me to myself, I actually understood the first time I actually went to Japan. My first trip after 3 months, I understood that, hey, Jeremy, actually, you can do something. You're not a loser. You're not, because I really lost all hope in life and everything after. But when I came back from my first trip in Japan in 2018, I thought, wait, I can actually do something. And that's where I saw the light in the tunnel. I was thinking, wow, so actually Japan might be the thing. So I came back, so I went again to Japan and I decided to actually focus really, really more on the language and to restart my studies there. And I was thinking, it's fine, I'll do something. And then, like, there was this superpower that everyone has that's led me through all this. And that's the force I had to actually keep going and never stop.
I'm curious to know why Tokyo. You could have chosen many different cities and countries to decide a place destination to relocate. Why Tokyo?
True, you're not the first one to ask that. It's true that people usually tell me, like, especially because the first time I left, I was just getting out of the wheelchair and I was not really able to walk more than maybe 50, 100 meters. Like, I mean, with people holding me, like, I had balance issues, I had two crutches. And that day I said to my parents, okay, like, right now I'll go to Tokyo, I'll go to Japan. And there's like, wait, you need to sit, you want some coffee, something? And no, I decided to go there because I really liked the anime and manga before. I was not like a big anime fan, but I've always been drawing. When I was in France, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I used to do graffiti and street arts. And the thing is, the link with anime is that more that I really like, I think it's real cool, you know, I really love it, like the everything, but more than that, like the artistic style. The artistic style really, I really felt in love, like especially the characters. I mean, big lines, the colors, like play. I really liked it, and that's why the thing is that I really had that thing for actually drawing, like all these manga-like characters and all, which is the link with graffiti at that time. So basically, when I was in that moment, starting to recover in my head, thinking, okay, wait, I see that I can't live the active life I used to have before and everything. So there was that thing of, and why not now? Because I really wanted to go to Japan and to Tokyo, but I always kept it, to be honest with you. Okay, I'll do that later. It's fine. Like when life is gone. But no, at that moment, I was like, what? I have nothing to lose. Let me try that. Anyways, I can go even more down now. So I'll just go. And that was it. When I came back from these 3 first months, I actually decided and I saw that, wait, Jeremy, see, you can actually do something with your life now. So I kept going. That was the thing.
I'm curious to know as well. In addition, wasn't it hard for you to be the only foreigner in your school? Because I'm guessing everyone was Japanese, and you had to learn Japanese from scratch. So what was that experience like?
So yeah, to actually re-enter the school, that was, to be very honest with you, since that was not my first experience of being the outsider, because the thing is, I got my IB from the French school in Dubai. I was French speaker with French speaking persons. I entered this international school in Dubai to study audio. They told me, Jeremy, like, why don't you go back to France? And I really liked the international thing. And I said, no, 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 I want to stay. But you know, you're not speaking in English. It's fine. I'll just learn on the spots. On the spots. However, Japanese is another level. And yes, being the only foreigner, I mean, with only Japanese people was something. I can say that now it's almost 7 years. Yeah, it's 7 years. I'm in Japan now, and in 7 years, never a Japanese person has been bad to me. I never had a problem. Japanese people are really, they're well intentioned, they're good, and they do things well. In that school, even though I was the only foreigner and everything, they were not racist with me, they were not bad with me, and they always helped me when I was trying to speak with them and trying to go ahead with it, and I'm really glad of that.
Pretty nice. Well, speaking about Japanese culture, which is different from Western and here, I suppose. I heard also that there's no work-life balance. There's no rest, and also taxes are very high, and there's a very high suicidal rate. Are these claims true?
The thing is that from what I understood with Japan, in fact, the the work culture there is unique. I mean, in their culture, work is actually very important.
They sleep at work even.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it's very important, and it's even sometimes more important than actual personal life. I'm not saying that about all the Japanese, but I mean, globally, I can say, to be honest, I went for the first time in Japan in 2018. We're in 2025. And I entered that local school in 2021. For all the years before, I was in Japan, but in the international Japan, I really feel like I actually entered Japan when I entered this local school with only local people. And this is where I actually felt the country more like it is, like the actual. And yeah, this is where there were more than the language barrier, there was the cultural thing where, I mean, actually sitting in class with all the guys. And I remember my very first day at school there, where I could live this actual thing that everybody sees in anime. There is that exchange student coming, and when I was actually coming first day in front of the blackboard, and I was looking at like 35 Japanese people looking at me like they didn't really understand what is this foreigner doing here. Started explaining and presenting myself in Japanese, and was just saying to myself also, okay, so you wanted that, and here you are now. So I was kind of proud, but I was scared too of thing. I was okay. Here we go for another adventure. I'll keep going.
The theme here is from other podcast guests I've interviewed is to keep going. But after 21 surgeries and years in a wheelchair, was there a spark ever at a time, or should I flip this question and say, were there ever times in your life where you preferred that life, at that accident, that the accident took you away, like you preferred death over being a survivor? I know it's a disturbing question, but I can only ask you this question. I can't ask any other guest. Right? Would you have preferred death, or are you happy with your survival?
Well, I'll be very honest with you. I'm not gonna hide that there is sometimes I actually thought I should have I shouldn't have made it, and sometimes I wish I was dead. But in a way, now I see all the years pass, I see where I am, I see that I walk now, I see that I do it, I see that I'm even active in life, and I'm actually, and at that moment right now I'm thinking, no, that was definitely worth it. However, the lesson in all that is that everything has a price, and you shouldn't release it. However, that's when you lose the things, you actually understand the value of things only the moment you don't have them anymore, and you start thinking, wait, that wasn't that bad. I wish I could have that again and everything. And I remember the thing is that, and that's an actual luxury for me to be able here to talk with you and talk about that, because I'll just remember that time in my hospital bed when I woke up and I thought and I was thinking, no, it's over, I can't move, and just looking at the other side of the room and thinking, wait, I wish I could just wake up and open the door and go, like, grab a sandwich, drink coffee, smoke a cigarette, whatever. Like, every time speak with this guy, but no, I couldn't. I was there in that bed, and at that moment, everything has so much value in life, simple things and all. And well, this is why at every step after, when you see, I mean, from my bed, just when I was able to sit for the first times, I was so happy. And then after, okay, but I want to sit on the side and I want to start try. They put me for the first time in a wheelchair. I couldn't move myself, but they pushed me, and just getting out of the room was like reopening to the world. First time I went back into a car and saw other cars and everything, like life, I was so impressed. I was literally resetting. So I was 0 years old again, starting life again. And I mean, seeing life happening around you was so intense and so impressive. So yeah, going from that, then waking up, because the thing is, luckily I still had both my legs. Waking up, and I wanted to walk, but I couldn't. I was falling. So I did my very first step in almost in 2017, between the. So from that, I had two crutches. From my two crutches, after years, to one, from one crutch, then to zero, on that day of 2022 in April. So nobody told me again. Like Japan, nobody told me, okay, go to Japan and walk all these kilometers every day, change train in a language that you don't even understand, and with all these people. But that's the power of life. And I was really aware that that was my decision. This is why I actually never complain, because yeah, that was difficult, and I actually hated myself big time, so many times, just thinking when I was just like at the pedestrian crossing, the people, everything, I'm just like, the hell am I doing here? What is that? And I just thought, okay, that would have been easier just to stay home, and yeah, like some people just bringing me food, whatever. But no, what there was here that didn't have there is, that was life. That was difficult, waking up in the morning, being like, okay, the thing going, it's cold outside, walking, going, waiting for the train, crowded train, changing and everything. But that was life. I mean, and every day I was so tired physically, but I was so happy in a way, thinking that, yes, man, you did one day, you were alive that day, and that's good. That's a win. And slowly, slowly, I was going up everything until that one day in 2022, in April, I still had that one crutch, and I had one cane. That was not even a crutch, that was a cane. And that day I decided that I wouldn't take that cane with me. So I kept it. I was thinking, okay, this one I'll put it here in the entrance of my apartment. I'll make a day with no cane. Since that day I never ever took it again. And I'm walking. So that's another win for me. Thinking, yes, boy, you did it. And now I'm thinking about that very first day that you were talking about before. What do you remember when you first opened your eyes, when you first woke up from that, and that moment where I could not move my body and thinking it's over? Now I think about that again. I'm thinking, yeah, that was 10 years, very difficult, very long, but I got out of that and I'm alive and I'm sharing my story.
Whew. I need a moment to digest everything you just shared here. You know, one of the things I wanted to also inspire others is to show this podcast to people that I feel are ungrateful. There are many people you meet in life that are ungrateful, complaining about all sorts of BS, bullshit stuff. And this showing this, what you said, this segment, in this whole speech that's unscripted, there's no script that you wrote before this. I really would love to share this with my network, and anyone else who comes across as being ungrateful, because the smallest things in life, like waking up, going for a piss, we take for granted.
Yeah, and the moment, I mean, when you were so down in your life that you can't even stand up by yourself and go take a piss by yourself, even this, you'll see that the moment you actually can do it again, you think that, yeah, no, but nothing can stop me now. Like, I mean, even like losing, I mean, shit.
It's okay. Hey, no, continue.
Yeah.
No, you were saying even just getting up to go and take a piss, the smallest things like that we take for granted, one step at a time, it's a reminder that it's not over.
Yeah, that's it. It's a reminder that it's not over. And every time you come back, but because we're human being, we always want more. So the thing is that first, as I was saying, I'll sit on my bed, but no, I want to get out of the room. I go in the wheelchair, but I want more. Now I want to stand up. But I stand up, I fall. No, but now I want to try and stand. So I go from the wheelchair to the crutches. Then I have two crutches. No, no, now I want one. But now that I want zero. Now I can walk, but now I want to run. So that's it. You never stop. But you're alive. Why? Because this is why you're alive. This is because you actually want to do something. If everything is flat, sure, there's no problem. You're not gonna fall. It's flat. It's good. There's no risk. But you need to take the risk to actually put things in motion. Like, I mean, you need to take the risk to actually go somewhere to do things. And this is how being alive is, I believe. Like, I mean, there's some times in my life I couldn't move. And now I can move, I can speak, and I can do things, and I can work again. And I see it with its full value because it was almost gone. And that gives the perfect value to it.
Going forward, now that you've shared this experience, you've walked this road, and you got a great message you've already shared with our audience to keep going, which is the theme of this podcast. What does your future? What does your ideal future look like? What do you see yourself now doing, and like doing for the rest of your life, if at all?
Well, first of all is being alive. That's pretty simple, but in my case, that wasn't really possible at some time, and now that I see it's the most. And when I say being alive, I mean, for me, I want to create things. I want to keep doing. I want to keep drawing. I want to keep making music, and I want to live with the people. I want to. That's it. So now that there is these projects going on, I'm so very happy to see them actually being here, being happening. That's the best. And I mean, from there, I want to keep going. I want to create more things. But all these things would basically start from that, because this is one experience that I had, but this is also for all the other people who had like the same sort of experience. And now the message is for all the people who didn't go, and I don't wish anybody to actually go through all that. But from where I am, that's what I want to say to the people. I want the people to actually see life how I see it. And I want, yeah, that's what I want to share.
Really cool. Really cool. Really cool. Wow. We're coming to the end of this podcast. Very, very inspiring. I would like, you've already shared a very, very good message for our audience. While we touched on the documentary that you're working on, I'm sure some of the audience would love to watch it. When can they expect it to be available?
So I'm really hoping, maybe January, February 2026. We'll see how it goes, but like hopefully that would be the time.
Fantastic stuff. And for those who are watching, if they want to get in touch with you, they want to know more about you, reach out to you, where's the best place they can find you?
They can find me on social media, mainly Instagram, the one I'm the more using, but Instagram, Facebook, I have my YouTube channel where I post my music. And that's most of it.
And just final question as we wrap up, if you could speak to your younger self and give a message to yourself, because you've already given a message to the audience. Maybe it's the same, I don't know. But if you could give a message to yourself when you were in the downest days of your life, what would that message be?
Don't give up. Catch it and don't release it. If it's different from zero, you have to grab on it, and eventually something will come, but it's worth the try. So just don't give up. Like, it's easy to say, but you have to make it. So yeah.
Fantastic.
That's the message I would say to myself and to everyone.
Really good. Thank you so much for your time, Jeremy. Very inspiring.
Thank you for hosting me.
And can't wait to see your documentary. Looking forward to it.
So do I. Right on.
Really, really, really inspiring. Held back some tears, but I will really, really want my audience here who are watching to follow Jeremy's journey, his profile, because some big things are coming in the foreseeable future of what he's building. Do follow his journey, his music, and you can know more about how he recovered in his documentary. So just want to say thank you again, Jeremy, and I can't wait to have you back on the podcast again for round 2.
Thank you so much, Adel, for hosting me and again, saying my story, sharing with the people, sharing with the world. As a human being, I want to talk to all other human beings. This is it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adel.
Thank you. All right, guys, that is a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. We will leave all the links in the description so you can check out Jeremy's profile. Thank you again. Hope you found this as inspiring as I did. I certainly will watch this myself many times. But again, thank you again. Hope you found this insightful, and I will see you next time. Cheers. Goodbye.
Web3.tv